G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another Euro 2024 fantasy video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the best assets for groups A, B and C. So I'll split this video into two. So if you haven't and it's out, definitely watch part 2 after this where I talk about groups D, E and F. First of all, if you are new, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me out a lot, and like this video if you do end up liking it. So Group A has Germany, Scotland, Hungary and Switzerland. Group B has Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania. Group C has Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia and England. So we'll be going through each team, talking about some of the best options that you need to be bringing in. And sometimes that doesn't mean the best player. It might be a player that's good value for money. It might be a player that's out of position. So definitely stay and watch the whole video and leave some comments as you go along. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Yeah, I'd like to know what you think in the comment section below. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game. Where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top. Guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
So we'll start off with the host, Germany, and there are a lot of good options for Germany. You could go with the likes of Neuer, who's obviously had a lot of injuries this season, but he'll probably start in goal. Thomas Muller, Joshua Kimmich, Tony Kroos, Gundogan, who's also the penalty taker. Florian Wirtz has an incredible season with Leverkusen this season, but I've gone for Musiala, a player that comes in at 8.5 million. He's down as a midfielder, and I think he'll be very, very attacking in this Nagelsmann system. We know Julian Nagelsmann has, put together some great teams in terms of club level. Definitely at Leipzig and at Bayern, he was, I guess he got sacked, but yeah, I think that was for different reasons other than footballing reasons. And we know how his teams play. They are very attacking, free-flowing, and I think Musiala is going to be a key part of that and a key part of if Germany do well in this tournament. Obviously, like I said, there are other options, and if you did want to go for other options like Florian Wirtz, I don't hate it at all. It is 0.1 million cheaper, 1 whole million cheaper, but I think Musiala is going to be the main man, and he's had an incredible season, albeit Bayern haven't had a great season, and Musiala has definitely stepped up, and for me, I think he is worth that extra bit of money just to have someone that he is going to be the main man in that team. Obviously, no penalties because that will go to Gundogan, but Musiala going to be one of the furthest forward. And for me, he is in the team and he's down as a midfielder as well. Scotland next up. It is tough from Scotland because they had an incredible group stage, to be honest. They smashed their group with some top teams in there, and it is difficult to be honest to pick a few kind of attacking players from Scotland. So I've gone for a defensive option. I've gone for Andrew Robinson, who obviously a Liverpool left back, 5.5 million. In this system though, I'm not too sure whether he will be playing left back. I think he might be playing kind of a back three or potentially a flat back for a left back. So I can't see him being as attacking as he would be for Liverpool. But for 5.5 million, you know he's going to get them interceptions, which obviously you do get points for in this game in Euro 2024 fantasy. We know he can be attacking, so maybe if they do play like a system where the left back does go forward, we know he can be attacking. We know how good Scotland have been in this tournament as well. So I definitely think Robertson is probably the best player to go for from this Scotland team. Yes, you could argue McTominay is a nice option to go for. We know he plays more advanced for Scotland, but for me, I think the safe pick is Robertson with the amount of attacking options there are for other teams about. I don't think I want to be using a spot on a Scotland attacker. Hungary next up. This was a tough one, to be honest with you. I do really like Hungary at the minute, and they look very good in qualifying. But for me, I have gone for Szoboszlai, the Liverpool midfielder, and it's not just because I know him from Liverpool. I think he will be playing out of position. He will be playing in that number 10 role, whereas Liverpool he plays more in a deeper midfield role. And I think by him playing in that number 10 role, it does mean that he is going to be in more attacking positions. He's going to be getting forward a bit more, and for that reason is why I've put him in this video. 7 million as well, which is a pretty good price. And I think Hungary look very good in qualifying. To be totally honest with you, he's the captain, he's the golden boy of the nation. Yes, it didn't go too well for him in terms of his Liverpool start to his Liverpool career. He started off well, but towards the end of the season, he didn't look great at all. But like I said, him playing as a number 10 for this Hungary team is given kind of I guess, a free rein because he is probably the best player for Hungary. Yeah, and for me, he's definitely an option to go for. It's just I think the group might be a bit tough for him to pick in the team. But if you are looking for a Hungary player, he's got 12 goals in 40 caps for them, which is from midfield is pretty good. And I can definitely see them getting through to the knockout stages. Next up, we've got Switzerland, and to be honest, Switzerland have got a few options, and to be honest, these options always do well in the tournaments, the kind of Euros, and sometimes even the World Cup when Switzerland do qualify. But for me, it was obviously a pick between Shaqiri, because we know Shaqiri absolutely smashes it at tournaments for Switzerland, or someone like Xhaka, and I have gone for Xhaka, 6 million. He's just won the league as well with by Leverkusen. Obviously, he left Arsenal last year, but I think he is going to be the main man for Switzerland. And just like Szoboszlai, obviously in his normal career, in his club career, he plays in kind of a deeper midfield role. But for his country, he is definitely more attacking. I wouldn't say he's a number 10 like Szoboszlai, but he's definitely more attacking. And I think the fact that he's played under Xabi Alonso this whole season, he's not used to losing. They've lost one game, and that was the Europa League final this season. So I think he's going to try and bring that to his Swiss team. And yes, there are options like Akanji and Shaqiri, but I think Xhaka is going to be on some set pieces. He's going to be getting forward, probably going to be on penalties as well. I think he can be a nice option for people that are looking around that kind of 6 million, 6.5 million slot. Overall, I think this group is going to be a tough group, to be honest. I think Germany haven't been great recently in tournaments, but they're at home. Scotland absolutely smashed qualifying. Hungary have been looking very good in qualifying, and Switzerland always do well in these sort of tournaments. They've got players that do turn up in these tournaments, so I think it will be a tough group. But I think there's definitely some picks to go for. I think definitely Germany, Musiala, and I think Xhaka can be nice at that price point, 6 million. Let's get on to Group B. So next up, we've got the so-called group of death. So we've got Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. A really, really tough group, and especially for Albania, I can't see them getting out of this one. But we'll start off with Spain. So there are obviously a lot of players for Spain. Maybe you can go for someone like Morata up front. You can go for Rodri, because obviously in this game as well, you do get kind of interception points. So Rodri could be a good option. There are many players you can go for. You can go for someone like Olmo and a wing. But for me, I think with this Spain team, I think the best option to go for is Grimaldo. He's had an incredible season for Bayer Leverkusen. In the league, he's got 10 goals, 13 assists, even 2 goals, 3 assists in the Europa League. So an incredible turnaround for someone that plays left back, left wing back. And for 5 million, I think he can be a nice differential going into this group and going into this Euro 2024 fantasy game. Normally, you'd associate Spain with being one of the favourites, but I think their squad this time round, to be honest, doesn't look that great, which is, I guess, why I've gone for someone that is playing left back. Normally, you could pick, I guess, an array of talent from Spain, maybe Iniesta, Xavi, even Jesus Navas. You've got so many options. Nico Williams now you can go for, maybe Morata, but for me, I just don't fancy them at all. And I think going for someone that is an attacking defender, and especially in this group, I think it's going to be such a tight group. And Croatia and Italy have been known to be very defensive in the past, so I can definitely see a few 0-0s in this group. And for me, going for someone like Grimaldo, who I guess is a defender, but is also very, very attacking, as we've seen for Bayer Leverkusen this season. And for 5 million, I think he can be a really, really nice option. Next up, as you can see, all defenders in this group, and there's definitely a reason why. Like I said, it is a tough group with strong defences. I've gone for Gavardio, and a lot of you that do play FPL obviously know how great Gavardio is and how good he is going forward. There are obviously other options for Croatia, like Luka Modric is probably the main standout, maybe even Kovacic. But for me, Gavardio, he obviously had his breakthrough in the World Cup, and I think he's going to do very well this tournament, especially with the fact that we've seen him be attacking now for Man City, and we've seen him get on the end of things, score goals, get assists. 5.5 million is probably a little bit too expensive, but if you did want to get that cover and you do fancy Croatia to get out this group or at least keep a few clean sheets, then I think Gavardio can be a nice option to go for. Like I said, Modric, yes, not bad, but he is obviously getting on a little bit. Even Kovacic could be a nice option. Not too sure. Perisic is obviously out injured as well, so that does rule him out as an option, because he used to be kind of a defender playing as a winger, which used to be quite good. But yeah, for now, there are a few other options for Croatia, but to be honest, none that spark out. So I think it's best to go safe and go for a defensive pick. Also, Italy, a defensive pick. You could argue Italy actually have a few decent forwards. They've got obviously Chiesa, El Shaarawy, Pellegrini looks decent as well. But for me, with Italy, I think the best options are to go for a defender. And Di Marco has had a really, really good season this season, which is why I've gone from him. He's only 5 million as well. He's attacking this season for Inter. He's got 5 goals, which is really, really good, considering Inter haven't been amazing, I'm pretty sure, in the league. Or did they win it? That would look stupid if they won it. But anyway, DeMarco's had a good season, 5 goals, which for me does look really, really good. And yes, there are other options. I think Di Lorenzo could be an option from Italy, but for me, yeah, I think I'd rather DeMarco for 5 million. And then, like I said, in this group, I can see a lot of clean sheets, and Italy are always normally solid defensively. Albania, this was a tough one, to be totally honest with you, because obviously this is a tough group, but I've just gone for the most, I guess, senior player, and I guess another defender that's pretty cheap, 4.5 million. You got Haisaj, who can play right back, left back. He is obviously one of their main players as well. You could go for someone like Armando Broja, but for me, I just can't see. I just don't understand why you'd go for an attacking talent in this group. I think your best bet is to go for a cheap defender, and go for someone that is, I guess, almost secured in terms of starts. You know he's going to play. You know he's the main person. So that's why I've gone for him. Also, Inter did win the league, so obviously he's just come off the back of that DeMarco, which is going to be great for him, and he's had a great season for Inter as well. So definitely a tough group to dissect, and it kind of resonates with me going for all defenders. Spain don't look great attacking wise. Croatia never really threaten attacking wise. Maybe when they had Perisic on the wing and stuff like that, and Modric, but for me, I think they're going to be defensive this tournament. Italy, we know how strong Italy are defensively, and Albania, yes, they're not the probably best defensively. They've conceded a lot of goals in qualifying, but there's no way I'd go for an attacking option from Albania. So that's it for Group B. I can probably see, to be honest, Spain and Italy qualifying out of this group. I just think Croatia are probably, getting on a little bit too much, even though they do surprise me every tournament. But I think Italy and Spain will end up going through this group. Let's get on to Group C. So now we're on to Group C. So it is England's group. England have Denmark, Slovenia, and Serbia in their group. This is actually, I think, a tougher group than people actually think. People probably think England are going to walk this group. I definitely think they'll qualify top, but I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. We'll start off with England. So I've gone for Harry Kane, 11 million. He's had honestly an incredible season for Bayern Munich. Obviously, they haven't won anything, but we know Harry Kane doesn't need to win anything to I guess have a good season, which obviously I'm a Spurs fan, so I know that firsthand. But this season he has been incredible. He's been the top goal scorer in Europe, 36 goals in the league only. He got 8 in the Champions League as well. So, and he added up 12 assists over both tournaments. So really, really good goal scoring, 44 goals, 12 assists for Harry Kane this season. Don't forget, a lot of people might be talking about Foden, Bellingham, Saka, defence, maybe Maguire. I actually do think a defensive option is a good option, but Harry Kane is going to be playing in a in a country that he's been playing for the last year, in a country that he's, I guess, played for a team that scored 44 goals for. He's going to be used to the stadiums. He's played in them already this year. I think it's just all set up for Harry Kane to absolutely smash this tournament, finish top goal scorer, and for England to win it. To be totally honest with you, I think it's just set up perfectly. And there is arguments, obviously, to go for Foden. That's a bit cheaper. Maybe Bellingham that's a bit cheaper. Saka that's a bit cheaper. For me, just pay the money, get Harry Kane. He's the best striker in the world. He's going to get you goals. He's on pens. Yeah, for me, it's just a no-brainer. And don't overthink it by not going for Harry Kane, to be totally honest with you. Next up, Denmark, who are a team that I really, really like, and I really liked the World Cup, and I did kind of tip them to do very well in the World Cup, which they didn't. But for me, their team does look very, very good, and there are a few options to go for. You could argue someone like Simon Kjær at the back for AC Milan and is a very good player to go for. You got Vestergaard for Leicester. You got Joachim Andersen for Palace. We know how goal scoring he can be. And you obviously got Christian Eriksen, Man United. Højbjerg actually plays a bit more attacking for Denmark than he does for Spurs. Matthias Jensen for Brentford, who's had a good season. Damsgaard for Brentford. We've also got someone like Poulsen for RB Leipzig. And then it does come down to Højlund for Man United. And I think Højlund is the player to go for. He's only 7.5 million, which I think is incredible with the fact that he's got all these players around him. He's got, obviously, Eriksen. He's got Poulsen, Højbjerg. Yes, they're not overly creative players and they're not, I guess, amazing players, but having someone like that behind Højlund, I think is only going to increase Højlund's chances of being, I guess, putting a few chances away and getting more chances. Because I think when he got chances for Man United, he did put them away. So for me, I think Højlund is probably the best Denmark option to go for. Slovenia was tough, to be totally honest with you. There are not that many noticeable players for them. I guess the only option is Sesko, who's been linked to a lot of clubs. He's got 14 goals in the Bundesliga this season for RB Leipzig, and he is a young up and coming forward. But for me, I just don't. I think it's too early to put pressure on him and for him to kind of deliver at this tournament. So I've gone for Oblak. You know, he's been one of the best goalkeepers in the world for the last, 10, 15 years. He's only 5 million. He's going to be facing a lot of shots from England and from Denmark and even from Serbia. So there aren't many options to go for, but if Oblak's going to get loads of save points, potentially a clean sheet against Serbia, but for me, yeah, it does really lack the options for Slovenia. I think Sesko, if you are looking for that, but I think there's so many good forwards in this tournament that I probably won't be wasting a slot for him, which is why I've gone for Jan Oblak. Serbia, again, a team that I guess have a few more better players than Slovenia. They've got like the Tadićes and the Milinkovic Savic and Lukic, and for me, yes, these are good players, but I think Mitrovic is the person to go for. He's absolutely smashed it in the Saudi Pro League. Yes, it's a Saudi Pro League, but he's still scoring goals. 35 goals this season, 7 assists. So yeah, absolutely smashed it, and he's going to go into this tournament on fire. And if Serbia are going to do anything in this tournament, potentially finish third, potentially finish second, or even first, then Mitrovic is going to have to be on fire. And I think for 7 million, I can see a place for him in the team. If you are going for maybe Mbappe and Kane, I could definitely see a spot for Højlund or Mitrovic. But yeah, for me, if you're going to go for a Serbian player, I would definitely make it Mitrovic. Overall, in this group, I don't think England and Denmark will go through, but I think Serbia, I've got something to say. I know Denmark, like I said, were disappointing in the last tournament, and for me, that kind of, I guess, makes me a bit worried that they won't deliver in this tournament. But for me, they've got too many good players to not deliver. Their defence is solid. Their midfield is very, very techy, and then they've got Højlund up front as well. So for me, Denmark will finish second, and yeah, England will win the group. Well, that was it for this video. As I've said though, C, E and F will be coming very, very soon. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel to make sure you get a notification for that. Obviously hit the notification bell as well. Like this video if you have enjoyed it. Even if you haven't, just like it anyway, please. And leave a comment below what you think of these picks. I'd love to know your picks below. So maybe if you can leave a group A, group B, group C, and then the teams, and let me know your picks for these groups. That would be great. And I'd love to hear what you've got to say and your opinions. Like I said, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also I'm doing a Euro 2024 Fantasy League. The code is there on the screen. There's also going to be an auto link in the description box below. The code is C3ZUJE. Winner will be receiving one of these caps. So if you do win, you'll get one of these caps in the post. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below of what picks you'll go for each team.